That is the truth.
Then your work must stop. Okay. Alright. So, as I mentioned in the description, I have to clean up a little mess. A mess known as Yuyuko. And then I can have all the fun, magical adventures I've been wanting without all the fuss of combat 3 or 4 times a turn. Alright, let me see. Hey there. Oh, I'll pay you. I have monies. I just don't want her to manipulate the situation and somehow turn things around on me. I hate you. You're a jerk. Fine, whatever. Oh no. They have a form of darkness. I can't possibly. Why is this not working? They seem organic enough. Magicians, they should be folding like a deck of cards, like a house of cards. Man, I wish I had annihilation. Massacre, that's what massacre, that would be the one. Yeah! What was I doing with these guys again? I'll just throw them at this and see what happens. The most atomic node I ever... Oh, hello, what's all this? Let's start with the despair and... I guess I will bid my own black prayer. Make that a little softer, then I can follow up with darkness. Stack in a rack. Nomads actually have pretty good resistance. That's better. Okay, so now it's gonna be a big old zombie fight, huh? Well, my zombies will be better than your zombies. Or I suppose I could just do this. Oof. Wave of despair for the living, holy word for the undead. It all works out. Hope and despair. Emotions are but my toys. I gotta recast buffs, but I'm not too worried. The endurances are still in play. Maybe if I just throw down a few, I think 2 wraith forms fell off. If I replenish those... let me see. I think I've been playing on normal this whole time. I know I'm gonna try... I know I'm gonna try experimenting upping the difficulty after I finish this one. For one more, round before I go back to messing with Civ, 4. Missing at least. Missing more wraith forms. Somehow. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm gonna render my judgment on what I think of this difficulty setting. I guess I may as well do it now. I was planning on waiting until the end, but I think this is close enough. So, as it stands, Advanced is too difficult for me. Or I guess I should say, I can win an advanced game if I bring my A game to it. If I play a strong, you know, if I just bring my all to it. But I like to play random games or experiment with odd builds that I'm not necessarily very good at or not necessarily even optimal builds to begin with. And in those cases, well, you see, no, not there. Ew. I think you should join my army of heroes. At which point it becomes advanced. It's incredibly frustrating and difficult. However, this form, normal, I can't tell if normal is too easy or not, largely on account of nobody's on the Mirren plane. They don't have custom builds and they're not on the Mirren plane. That means that the Mirren plane was entirely open to just walk in and take on this difficulty setting, which is, yeah, I mean, it's an entire plane that is just free for the taking. I mean, I suppose I could ignore the Mirren plane, but I can't be sure that one of the AIs won't somehow slip on over, so... Yes, I believe that the, faster races are actually stronger if you play as them at the start. Being able to expand quickly and conquer territory, and then you hope that somebody else is running high men or dark elves and take their stuff, is the best. But that's just my opinion. Seravi over there, he would know far better. I know he's had fits trying to balance lizardmen in particular. But I've always liked playing tall rather than playing wide. I like building lots of buildings, holding cities. Well, I guess I'll just step forward. Took 3 of you guys to bring down an engineer? Okay. Tough engineer. Okay. Oh, yes, you're right. You mentioned there was a new difficulty. I don't think you explained what it was. You just mentioned there was another setting. Oh, maybe I'll try that next. We'll take a look. Yeah, I'll start with the holy word. Then I'll do my black prayer. Really? The pikemen, huh? Okay. That next holy word is gonna light up your world. As expected. And it's completely useless. You needn't have even bothered. Ah, great. How many of those things did you take from Satori? Seems like there's always somebody who has focus magic cockatrices. Guess it's the earliest way to get... It's actually... Ranged petrification is usually limited entirely to heroes. It's a pretty rare ability. I think you may have just successfully petrified that. Don't worry, I got 4 torpedoes left. Come on! What the hell? Finally! What city was that? Oh, hi there. Jeez. Hello there. Excellent. Big expensive summon versus my beginning of the game summon. Spend an entire holy word at 1.5 times cost to deal with a zombie. I need holy spot. Holy syllable. Yeah, that's what I need. Holy syllable. Alright. So, someplace is nothing but skeletons now. Somewhere. Somewhere. Ah! This must be the place that just had that attack. Well, you know, maybe you can't do that, though. Endurance. Alright, let's see. They've taken away your wraith form, haven't they? No, they haven't. Okay, you're in. Okay. That's not who I should have done that with. You! You'll survive that. Followed by... Just have to wreck the town, don't ya? Oh, this is easy. You could just set... Could you... Is there... Are you able to alter the Mirren's AI separate from the rest? Like, normally you have lawful, pragmatist, all that. Are you able to affect their AI behavior separately if they're on the if they begin on the Mirren plane? That is my question. Took me a minute to while I'm playing the game, it took me a second to put it to words. Okay, you can alter it so that it won't touch towers till a certain turn, then you can alter it. What if you told it not to touch any lairs until a certain amount of turns have passed? That would, well, one, that would leave more lairs available when the player gets through for the player to knock around and have fun with, and that would also somewhat curb their... Nodes and lairs are a somewhat chaotic and unpredictable element. When there are four people, 3 AIs and a player on the Arcanus plane, that makes a lot of competition to get them. On the Mirren plane, the AI has access to 100% of the lairs without anyone to compete with during that time. And that might be one of the things that has been giving them... Might be one of the reasons that they've been going out of control. If you simply restricted it until a certain number of turns, that might take some of the chaos out of how strong it is. Well, she has been doing a hell of a lot of, icky stuff. She's been contaminating my nodes one by one, which is a pain. I'm not even going to bother undoing it until she's done. Or, by which I mean until I've cooked her. She's, been using a lot of but most of her stuff doesn't work on me. Because every city I have is undead, which just makes it so most of her stuff just straight up doesn't work. The heroes just have resistance scores that she can't top. She doesn't have annihilation yet. So, I don't know why she hasn't been cursing all my cities. I'm guessing I just got lucky and she doesn't have famine or anything like it. But, maybe that's just wishful thinking and she's about to unload them on me. Either way, she's not going to hold out for long. I don't think she has to pay anything to maintain the warped nodes, though. So I'm going to have to dispel those manually, one at a time. Okay, everyone's good? Okay, great. Alright. So... We've got 3 cities left in this area. Bunch down here, 4. As well as a whole lot over here. Satori won't help in this war effort. Her loss, I guess. Lizard, aren't you? Ha, you're toast. You're all undead werewolves. There's something you don't see every day. I didn't even know. How does that even happen? You're the only death player in play, so your unit must have become undead. Oh, you cast Bloodlust onto werewolves. Oh yeah, that'd do it. I don't generally make use of werewolves. I prefer shadow demons. But as far as regenerating things go... No, how does that work? If it's undead, it's a fantastic creature and you can't werewolf it. If it's a werewolf, it's a fantastic creature and you cannot bloodlust it. How did this interaction occur? But only if you haven't opened one either. No retorts. Okay, Bloodlust can? Really? I didn't know that. I had come under the impression that you just couldn't cast buffs on fantastic creatures as a rule, because I swear none of the buffs work on fantastic creatures. It's like, every time I try, it's just like, nope, can't do that. This guy's got chaos channels. Nothing works on him. It's an interesting thought. I could do that. He just revamped lizard men, but there's also, I don't know what other races have new units. I haven't seen anything else lately. I could try all all spell books. I could throw a retort in. I could try beastmen, or I do like myself some dark elves. I always give them another go. What is Starfires? Oh, good. It actually pulled it off. Can't wait until I finish her off so I'm not under attack over and over and over. I'm so tired of being under constant attack. Because they're immune to every death spell? Yeah, actually among the drow, there'd be a lot of people would be using necromancy. Having something that's immune to necromancy would be advantageous, to be sure. Ugh. Noxious mix. There. Crap. Just die! I used to love, well, there didn't used to be a restriction on very rares. You could trade into anything. I remember back in Classic Game, I used to love having at least one in every school, and then I could trade into all kinds of interesting things late game. Trading back and forth between 4 opponents, you could get all kinds of fun stuff going. Okay. How are we gonna approach this? I think it's probably best if I started... Well, if I started here, I could go west and then just wrap around this way. Or I could come here and then move east, head down south. Seems like... You know what? I think I'm going to head west and wrap around. We'll start here. I think I like that idea. Let me see. Is everybody loaded up with all the swag they can carry? Seems that way. would like to put prosperity in every city. Evil presence would be interesting as well. Alright, we're gonna try prosperity. Prosperity, prosperity. Yeah, it more than pays for itself. Yes, they are. Shadow demons are great. Shadow demons, you get early game, you get skeletons, which are good all game as long as nobody has the Great Unsummoning. The Great Unsummoning just reads no more skeletons forever. Stupid unsummoning. But, you get ghouls for your early game, shadow demons for your mid game, and demon lords for your late game. Death just, you know, and then there's wraiths and death knights. I don't know if you wanted wraiths and death knights. I guess if you don't have shadow demons, they look pretty good. They both got life steal and can be pretty hard to... they can kill a lot of things. But, honestly, I would take death summons over any other School of Magic summons. I mean... yeah, no, there's no other School of Magic whose summons are as solid throughout the game as Death. Nature's got a pretty decent spread also. Life's got decent late game. Sorcery has some options, but I really don't like their Nagas. They're alright, but they're expensive. Wait, one book is enough for uncommons? Hold on, wait, what? Can't get very rare from those. Let me see. Where's your pain? No, you can't get. You have to have. It's currently 1 book is common, 2 is uncommon, 3 is rare, and 4 is very rare. You can't have access to the spells unless you meet those tiers. Yeah, I do too. I think Demon Lords are just great. Of course, I tend to prefer ranged units to melee units, even flying melee. Just Conjurer plus either Demon Lords or Angels, Archangels. Either way, because they increase your casting skill. If you were to just go pure Summoner and get a hold of one of those, you could just continuously be increasing your casting power. You're gone. Poof. There was no hope to survive that. And done. Oh, what do we have here? Nope. Nope. May not be the same powerhouses they once were, but they're still plenty good. Okay, let me see. I'll get you a spirit. I like that unicorns can assassinate magicians, but I don't know. I've never been sold on them. They're kind of expensive, and they grant a resistance bonus, which I've never been quite sure what to do with unicorns, honestly. I tend to prefer my summons. I guess you can tell. Either a summon, if I'm going to use it, it either has to be dirt cheap, like skeletons, who have no maintenance cost, and, you know, I can spam them. So I don't care if I lose a stack of skeletons. It doesn't matter to me. Or else they have to have some sort of invulnerability. Some form of it doesn't die. So that's your shadow demons or your really big late game things like, you know, archangels, demon lords, anything that's hard to kill. Big lizards, when I'm in nature, I tend to go for the great lizards more than cockatrices and things, because the AI, if I kill a unit to the AI, it doesn't really matter. The AI has so much more resources than I do. But if they kill my unit, it hurts. If it's an expensive unit, it hurts a lot. So I either want to lose nothing or have something so cheap that I don't care if it dies or not. But I tend to like units with regeneration a lot. I tend to like things that well, magic immunity is another good one, but that one you just can't get that anymore. Stuff like that. Okay, let me see. I need summoning circle to here. Shadow demon. Okay, you guys can head to the next target. While I create. I could try a unicorn strategy sometime, though. What buffs are you allowed to cast on fantastic creatures would be the question. That's another thing about life in particular. Until archangels, I consider their summons to be irrelevant because they're so good at buffing. And I'd much rather put their buffs on normal units. They're just so powerful that way, you know? Unexplored? So... archangels are good because they give, well, first they pay you to have them, and they're a spellcaster. So I'm all about that. But then on top of that, they give a bonus to all the units that are fighting with them, which is good. Let's see... The reasons players want to fight demons only once. They summon so many. Yes, every demon in D&D seems to have the ability to summon demons. They're all busy calling their friends. But they can easily roll and not summon anybody. The demons that they summon can't summon more demons, at least, so... that puts a lid on it, at least. Let's see. Higher class angels can do that too. Archangels can cast spells, which means they could summon, but their only option would be to summon paladins. I don't know if they have enough MP to pull that off. But, that was a lucky hit there. Where is he? I don't see anybody. Possess my turtle? How did I not catch that? No, this was your turtle. You killed mine. Oh! Oh! Just get rid of the turtle. We can deal with zombies. Oops, wait, wrong spell. Shit. Soul linking. Nature Life Conjurer. If you can get soul linking, it's amazing. Potentially. The problem I have with soul linkers is, well, heroes just tend to die. Invisibility. That's another good one. If you could make your hero invisible, targeted dispel magic can't be done unless they see them. That would allow you to have units like the Beast Lord, as long as you just kept them away. Stay back, cast spells, use your soul linking, you know, that would work just fine. That would require a splash of blue, though. As I said, I'm not sure which buffs are applicable to fantastic units, but I don't think too many of the sorcery buffs would apply. I kind of feel like I should give, Chaos another shot. I mentioned earlier in my last stream that I consider Chaos right now to be the weakest school of magic, but I should give them a fair shake. They have some new tricks that they're getting used to after all. Oh, hey, there we go. Okay, let me see. I need someplace else where I had dragon turtles also. And I need a mass skeleton button. Just put 9 into a city. Okay, here it is. Are you making something stupid again, my vizier? Oh, my vizier is so stupid. He always wants to make stupid things. Sages Guild, right there. You want the Armorers Guild? You want the big expensive Armorers Guild? You know what? No, anything I make is just gonna be killed. You've been setting everybody into farming? Okay. Instant army. Just add water. Or something. Man, I've been summoning a lot. Oh wait, wrong spot. Okay. Doggone, I hate that. How many have she poisoned now? 4? I'm not even sure. I'm gonna have to dispel them one by one. Terror, that's nice. Animate dead is interesting. I've had the luxury of ignoring disjunction all game. Hi, I'm here now. It'll take me a little time to cross the sea, but... That's 1 rage form and 1 endurance. She doesn't get to see actual combat very often anymore, does she? Okay, let's see. I know there's only 1, but make him gone. I suppose I could have just disintegrated it instead, but eh. Okay, and that should make it easier for the despair. Something's wrong. I'm missing heroes. What's going on? What are you two doing back here? How did that happen? Oh well. You guys missed out on the XP. Let me see. I needed one Wraith form. Somebody? Okay. And somebody lost an endurance. That was you. Okay. As we were. Okay. Then... Wait, where? There you are. I should ask. Oh wait, she's lawful and she has a wizard pack. That's why she won't declare war. Hello, Descender. Providing leadership and holy bonus to these shadow demons. How obnoxious. Well, I can take some of that resistance away. And if I can but kill this hero, my holy words will be more effective. Why stop at a holy word? Why not a whole holy poem? That would get rid of these things real fast. Ow. Gotcha. Or not. There. Alright. Is the holy bonus still in play until the start of your next turn? Alright. That's fine. Zombies! What a surprise! Didn't see that coming. Don't make me throw a whole holy dictionary at you. I'll get the unabridged one. You're the one who declared war on me. Don't you ever get tired of losing? You haven't even tried to make a peace offer or anything. Okay, great. Doesn't make up for all the nodes she's poisoned. At this point, I wouldn't give her peace even if she begged. It's bad enough with the early game troubles I had with her, but when she came back and declared war again, oh, that was it. Off to a good start. The city needs more skeletons. I think I know which city this is. This is the one you used to have the dragon turtles in, right? It's the only city I still hold on that continent. Oh! Are you undead? Oh, wow! I have a solution for you. There were some interesting after-action reports with Master Magic quite a while back now. I'm not sure if I read that one or not. It's been a long time. using so much mana on this. Clack on Bug Life Cult and conquered both plants. Spells do more damage. I don't care. Doesn't mean anything to me. Oh, wait a minute. I used Wave of Despair. Hey, awesome! My Waves of Despairs are more powerful. And your Wave of Despairs don't matter. Perfect. Oh, wait. These cities need heavenly lights. Yeah, it's this one over here. I gotta repopulate it. Or depopulate it. Whatever. I just mastered Voratsun. But then again, Nico's favorite is Voratsun, so he'll probably want to play her. Yeah, if it's one of the harder ones, we'll probably not be able to complete it. But who knows? Let's see. Well, I guess I can cancel that. Prosperity. Yes, even on crappy little cities, I'm gonna give prosperity to all. Hey, it more than pays for itself. Yeah. That's the kind of spell I like casting. I'm not a pestilence and famine kind of guy. Oh my gosh, again! It'll take me forever to dispel all these. Always draining my mana, warping my nodes. Well, I'm here, where your biggest cities are. This is where all of our major cities are. Over here, these are just one big city and the rest are smallish. I don't know where her capital is. Oh, here it is. The city she took from me, huh? Oh. Okay. While I'm here, I can explore some keeps and things. I finished the second to last Infinifactory mission today. Supreme Light. Not really my thing. I've got one more. And then next week, assuming that I manage to beat it tomorrow, next week I'll be doing, going over a few of the earlier missions. Redoing them with all my grand experience that I've gotten with the game since then. So you can expect me to start doing the StarCraft 2 multiplayer thing on... Let me see. Looks like April 17th. We'll have to work out, oops, that's not right. Where'd it go? There. No, wait. There it is. We'll have to work out, voice chat. Do you have, let's see, I generally use Discord for that. You impotent spiders. They're helpless. Crap, it's not working. Hold on. Do you mind if I inquire what the thesis is on? I need you to do a holy word, followed by... Yeah, that cleared things out a bit. I could use the apocalypse. I like the apocalypse, but we've got a conjunction boosting my damage spells, so I want to throw these at him. Okay, great. You know my Discord. Link's always in the description. I think you're... Wait, no, aren't you? Okay, you're already... Anyway, I have to make sure that either we could do it as a private message call, but I had a StarCraft channel, a StarCraft 2 channel I always use with Nico. If I just remember to... It's locked, but I can put you in as one of the people that can go in there. Mostly it's locked just because I don't want a whole bunch of random people crashing into my streams, into the voice chat. Okay, yeah, I just have to remember to punch that in as being allowed in that voice chat, that voice channel. I need to put skeletons in here. Wait, are you undead? You are. And so are you! Oh, well. That clears things up a little. Yeah. That city has had more attacks against it, I swear. Whoop! What the heck? You're an undead boat! Ghost chips. Wish there was a way to tell if something was undead at a glance without having to click on it. Oh well. Black Prayer, I choose you. Alright. Let me see. This should take the edge off the... Oh my gosh, that didn't do much, did it? Should have done more than that. Well, everything I got's undead, so your wraiths can't feed. What? What? Excuse me, I'm supposed to get a turn in there somewhere, you know? Bye. Oh, this. There we go. Okay, I need to put a summoning circle right here. Hey, guess what? My heroes have arrived on the continent. You've held out amazingly well. There are several times I thought this city was gonna fall for sure. But that lizardman necropolis has held. Slip my summoning circle over here. Really, I should beef up the defenses more than this, but eh. Oh, but I'm so curious. I can do that. I just want to fight ruins and lairs. Oh, I lost my paladin. Oh well. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. I find this way too amusing. I don't even need any of the stuff I found in it. But it was great. I threw that paladin's life away for nothing, and I don't even care. Remorse, what's that? Sounds like something that other people worry about. People who aren't death wizards. I didn't even, I even let her have all the nodes she took and everything after that war with, the demon. But no, she just had to declare war on me. Alright, this one, I think I'm starting to see her armies thin out at last. A tiny bit more and she might no longer attack me. Wouldn't that be nice? Drowbog with 5 undead barbarians. Okay, 1, 2. Alright, let's eliminate those. I don't know. Do the undead still benefit from morale bonuses? Okay. I wonder... As Cerevi, is there any way that you could create... This might probably be impossible. There's a very limited number of heroes in the game. But you've got the ability to alter and make all kinds of interesting new heroes. But it always takes the place of an existing slot. Is there any way you could get it to read, when you start a new game, for it to pick a, how do I even word this? Basically what I'm wondering is, if you put in a file with a different set of heroes, or what have you, artifacts, whatever data, if you could create multiple things, and then when starting a new game, it would either pick randomly from them, or you could pick which one. I'll try to illustrate what I mean somehow. If there's a way you could just ask it to call a different file with a different set of heroes on the start of the game, you'd be able to create different batches. It's probably impossible. Probably impossible. I've thought before about designing indie games. You know, when you design them from the ground up, you can do anything you want. About just taking all of the basically all the tiles. You could create different seasons, and as time passes, they could just be in different folders. Whenever you cross into a season, it could just call a different folder. With all the tiles would have the same names. They would just be done differently for the season. I don't know if I'm articulating my thought at all, if I'm making any sense whatsoever right now. But, ooh, really? Well, that's annoying. There is a sage. There's a sage that has nothing but sorcery spells. I don't know if that's who you're looking for. I think his name was Zaldron in the base game. I think. Bone Singer. Haven't seen that one. Well, that wouldn't be a problem at all. For it to apply to all players would be just fine. It would create an additional step of variety. You'd be able to create, even if you just created 2 batches of heroes, you'd play the game one time and you'd have one batch, another time you'd get another. In fact, you could even keep a couple of the heroes the same. For example, if you wanted to keep the Incarnations hero happy, you could keep her in both sets. A Demon Lord. Just one? I'll take this chance. That's not one! Oh yeah, the Illusionist. Yeah, there's Airy, the Illusionist. I guess. I don't know. The Illusionist's one of the best heroes in the game. But yeah, I've always kind of wanted to see a troll hero, yeah, the Beastmen never got one, the Clacons never got a hero. Let me see. There's a lot of resistance. I won't be able to simply banish them, but I might be able to banish their demons. Yeah, there's not a single Dark Elven hero either. That's another thing. 5 Alu Fiends. Kinda wish I was running a Mana Leak right now. Okay. Clear the board! Holy crap! The regular demons survived. What happened to the demon lords? That was unlikely. That was unlikely. Yeah, Wind Mage, yeah, that too. Ah! Well, awesome. That was lucky. Nothing really useful in there. But hey, whatever. Now you guys are on this side of the divide. And you can tear around in these places. So, I don't mind blowing open towers at this stage in the game. It's too late for it to make any difference. Okay, there's you. Are you? No. You? No. Everybody's living for a change. Well. I still want to start off with a Black Prayer, because you're going to start zombieing at some point. Yeah! Yeah, that was lucky. That was ridiculous. That one resistance. Hey, I've had enough bad luck. I'm not gonna complain if a game gives me some good luck for a change. Bye. Now, next turn this ends. Foof. I've had a lot of defeats. I've had a lot of other games, even ones I've won, where I've had the worst, horriblest luck. Over and over. And not just Master of Magic either, other completely different games. I have an amazing amount of terrible luck in these things. Okay, what we're gonna do is, looks to me like we're gonna sweep down like this. Swoop! Yep. And then we come down here and it's game over for her. And then I can do as I please. And there are many, many things I please. I wonder what's in that sorcery node. If that file trick works, for heroes, you can potentially offer alternate spells, alternate races. It could be set as a thing that it pulls randomly from, or you could make kits. For example, if you, you know, at the end of the stream, I'll illustrate what I'm saying. What my ideas are. Let's see, Doombats, Storm Giants. You know, I'm terrified to bring heroes near Storm Giants, but War Trolls? Shh. I'm happy to let War Trolls wrestle with them. He just added a new difficulty setting. He just added another difficulty setting above normal, but below advanced. So let's see, what am I gonna hit you with? Could be external. Okay, that's just a regular one. Stag Beetle guy. Barbarian Berserker. Actually, we already have a Berserker. Fairly early game hero, though. What? Yeah, you could do that. You could do that as alternate files that you copy and replace. But, hold on a second. Well, at the end of the stream, I'll pull out a thing. Just can't beat Black Prayer. A death mage without Black Prayer is like a car without an alternator. It just doesn't work. Except that there were cars that didn't have alternators way back when, but... Never mind. Never mind the analogy breaking down. Hey, you don't get to throw those back at me. Is she gonna realize that I'm the master of emotion? She can't force my people to give in to despair. Oh? The unknown has water walking, huh? knows that. Maybe I just haven't had the unknown in a while. The problem with all these shadow demons is they have a heck of a lot of upkeep I have to pay. Alright, we got a few heavenly lights we gotta put in. Let's see. The dwarves don't claim the current dwarf hero. It's a hint at... No. What it hints at is that all of the difficulties above it are unfair. What's in this cave? Oops. I don't need a wall of darkness. I need skeletons. So many skeletons. Seriously. I think there are more skeletons in my empire than people at this point. Yep, that's what they do. I do? Let's see. I guess I do. She doesn't hide her face. She doesn't have water walking either. I cast Wraith Form on her, but I don't see an innate water walking. And I know that the original hero didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. It wouldn't be visible right off. Let's see. Pop the summoning circle here. One more and this continent is clean. Man, you've been a pain in my behind. Must you mix the living and the dead at every time? Can't you just pick a side? I guess it's my fault for having spells to kill the living and spells to kill the dead. If I was a Chaos Mage, I could just wipe them all every time. The Jackal Rider. That's right, there's never been a Gnoll hero either, though I've always missed the Troll the most. I've wanted a hero with innate regeneration, but never had one. They're resisting. Made a mistake. You could have dragged the fight on and made me eat more mana. But you didn't. Ah. Yeah. No. Oh wow, they have 5 ammo. Resistant? I don't really need to do this, but I could have just dropped a mana leak and left it on auto. This is fun. Watching them disappear. expensive, wasteful, but amusing. Alright, trolls, you got this. Mace. Junk. Plate mail. Junk. Ring. Junk. Gorgons. Hey! You said gorgons. You didn't say anything about those. Couldn't hear them all crowing in the mornings. 4. Well, you're safe. Actually, I think everybody's safe. Yaz is fine. Happy casts Black Prayer. Happy also likes to cast Wave of Despair. Happy is interesting, has an interesting interpretation of what her work is. Gone. Hey, heroism. That's a good thing. Alucard Soul. Okay, let's see. This city probably wants, oh, I don't know, something, anything. Are they dead? Is he dead? Mark Twain and the Innocents Abroad. Let me see, what am I gonna do? We'll start with Despair. Despair is always a good state to start out with. A Nightmare Rider. That would be an appropriate hero. Right now, the only flying hero is the Draconian, although we do have the Windwalker as well. Then you could always have a fantastic hero. A Wraith. A Death Rider. Dragon. Yeah, there isn't an elf, surprisingly. The one from Order of the Stick? You mean Varsuvius? I always assumed that Varsuvius was female for some reason. Just always have assumed that. Death Knights, that's a pain. They're gonna be resistant to it. Still, it might pick them off. And I don't have a whole lot better against, Oh, hey, this is a random monster. Oh. I'm pretty sure the author's working very hard to continue to keep it a secret what gender V is. But as I said, I've just always assumed the character was female. Not sure why. It was actually a surprise to me when I found out, oh wait, the character's supposed to be androgynous? Wait, really? Oh, okay. Like, I'd literally just, yeah. Two wraith forms have to be replaced. And endurance. Oh, you got a stick for me. That's nice. 2 sticks. And a small mallet. Looks like you've been going up in the world. Yeah, this one's much better defended than your last capital. It's not going to help you much. Order the stick. There's an elven wizard in the one of the main cast. Yeah, wait a minute. There was another person who could figure out what your gender was. Oh, hey, I have control of this person. Can I keep her? I wouldn't mind having... Oh my gosh, confused wraiths. That's just weird. Wow, confusion seems to be working 100% for me. No, wait, I need... Yeah, and then you saw his family and they again made it really unclear. What? We should be done. There. Now we're feeling a tiny bit better. Assassinated. Oh, I'm sorry. You apparently can't see through a wall of darkness. There you go. Okay, just give it up. Don't come back. I would leave your cities neutral and ignore them. I don't even care. But you decided you have to come back. Yep. I still read it. I enjoy Order the Stick. I used to read so many webcomics, but these days I only have a few that I kept following. I still read Order the Stick. Let me see. Sluggy Freelance, Earthworld, Sklock Mercenary, probably a couple others I can't think of off the top of my head. At the moment, I'm going through Brawl in the Family. I had never read that one. For some reason, I missed it. I'm up to 500. So, I've only got a tiny bit more, and then it'll run out. I'm given to understand the author stopped at 600. A shame. I'm really enjoying it. Yep. It's still got a lot of humor in it. It's called Cerberus Syndrome. You read webcomics for a while and you just kind of expect it to happen. There are so many webcomics that start out hilarious and then at some point the author runs out of humor and just starts going serious. It happens like so many webcomics. It's more surprising when a webcomic can stay funny for a prolonged period. But Order the Stick manages to still be pretty funny at times. I find it a little bit annoying that they constantly lean on and sometimes altogether smash the fourth wall. I've never been a big fan of smashing the fourth wall for humor. I know a lot of people find it really funny. I just personally, not quite my brand. Yeah, Yeah, Earthworld has definitely had its ups and its downs, and its pace is really frantic, actually. So much so that I've repeatedly wondered about it, because it's a little bit hard to follow at times. And then other times they'll do the same scene. Lately, he'll do like the same scene like 3 times. Except, now we're looking at it from this character's perspective. Now we're looking at it from this character's perspective. Now this other character's sitting on his throne being evil and he reacts to the situation as it happens. And it's like, what? Why are you complaining? Ah, they're always complaining. Yeah, one of the comics I need to pull... There's... so many of them. There's one I need to go back to reading. I really loved Girl Genius for a while, and I don't know exactly when I stopped reading it or how it lost me. They were in the castle, and they were in the castle, and they were in the castle, and I don't know, somewhere in there they lost me. Let me see. To populate that with skeletons, but I also need to replace some buffs that were lost. But man, if you've never read it, Girl Genius, especially the, it's pretty awesome. I can recommend it. If you've never read Dr. McNinja, that one's over now, but that one, oh man. That one was brilliant. And hella weird. Okay, now somebody needed an endurance. Oh, I'm out of casting. Yeah, his latest thing, I think that it's gonna keep running kind of like for all eternity. I was kind of expecting it to have like a storyline planned out. It was gonna kind of go through, but it's kind of become apparent to me that Earthworld is, just kind of gonna be a perpetual thing. I think that they only originally planned as far as that volcano exploding. I think once they got past that, we're just kind of in, they're just kind of planning one storyline at a time now. That's my theory, anyway. There's a lot of webcomics I never got to read that were on my to-do list. One of the things when I started doing Let's Playing all the time was I actually gave up quite a lot of other things. I watch very little anime these days, very few webcomics, because I just never have the time anymore. That's the problem with having a full-time job and then a hobby that takes 60+ hours a week. All told, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Obviously, I don't stream 60 hours a week of just pure streaming. Let's see. Off with you. Wow, they might actually take this city. Eek! Yeah, I really like Jack Snipe. He might be my favorite character in the comic. I liked, actually the Tool never gets enough screen time. Stanley, he is actually a fun character. But he gets almost no screen time ever. Charlie was interesting, but I don't think they should have ever shown his face. I think it was a mistake. But again, I think that was because they didn't, you know, they're kind of making it up as they go. So there's some of the some of the short stories, like the Dig Dug one or the one in the sea, have been far more interesting than the main comic. Some of those side stories have been amazing. I'm still not Black Sleep. But honestly, Wanda and Jillian, I don't know about whether or not they're Mary Sue's or not. I just know that I don't care. They're just not interesting to me. I don't know. Wanda's just kind of... I don't even know what to say. She's just kind of boring. She doesn't have a lot of emotion or personality to her. Even when they gave all of her backstory and everything else, she's just not nearly as fun. I think I know why fans would enjoy Jack Snipe, because, like I said, he's like my favorite character. He's really interesting. I would say that even the Thinkomancer and Dirtomancer tend to have more personality than Wanda manages. Jillian, I have no opinion on Jillian. She's just some minor side character that takes screen time away from people I'm much more interested in. But, you know. Oh man, do they have the real Ghostbusters? Oh man. I don't actually have Netflix. I never got Netflix, so I have no idea what they do or don't have, but man, that would be... If I had kids, I know I would dig up wherever I had to go to find DVDs of that one. That was a great show. That one, the old X-Men cartoon. The, of course, Batman, the animated series. Okay, Wraiths are one of the few things War Trolls cannot do. It's impossible. Well, I mean, I suppose I could Holy Word them away. Maybe we'll give it a shot. If they survive the Doom Bats. Too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These two she took from me a while ago. Well, actually, this one got burnt. Yeah, we're almost done here. You ready to declare war on her with me? Please? Please? I could just leave you to do it, and I could run off and do my own thing. I'm never going to know peace as long as she lives. Well... Batman. Batman was really amazing. But Marvel had the X-Men at the same time. Ugh. You always have to mix in just a smidge of undead, just to be difficult, don't you? As it turns out, necromancers hate fighting the undead too. More than most other people. It really was. I like to collect openings. Originally I was collecting anime openings, but I started collecting old cartoon openings and stuff. The ones that I think are the best. I'll actually study them. Look, I'm into film editing. and making videos and stuff, okay? I'm weird. But I consider, specifically in the 90s, in America, I don't know who it was. There had to be a mastermind of some kind behind them all, because they just kicked the ass of all the other openings before and after. I mean, there's some good openings to shows, you know, here and there, but out of nowhere, during the 90s, cartoons, DuckTales, Tailspin, Rescue Rangers, the X-Men opening, the Batman opening, like, Gargoyles, like, they just, all of these really incredible Pokemon. The Japanese Pokemon opening, if you've never seen it, is really good, but the American opening is just better. It's just amazing. It misrepresents the series a bit, perhaps. Okay, it misrepresents the series a good bit, but it's so great. But if Pokemon and Batman probably are the two best openings ever made. I mean, oh man, that Batman opening is a work of art. It should be displayed in a museum. No, museums are not worthy of it. It should be forever enshrined on YouTube, as it is. At least I hope it is. Copyright claims being what they are, I don't know if you can find it on YouTube, but you should. Should be able to. Okay, 3 Doombats. I think you guys got this, actually, but here. Just to be oh, well, never mind then. Space Stallions? I might do just that later. Let me see. Alright, how am I gonna take these down? Actually... stupid mode. If I can pull the Black Prayer Holy Word off, that actually has a reasonable chance of working. I've lost 1 War Troll if I don't kill them. But... cowards. This is what you get for trying to run away! Ugh. I got plenty of bullets left, don't worry. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but during that time period, there must have been a company, ad agency, I don't know, somebody. Because when you come to, you know, I've looked at the more modern series, even the ones that people rave about, and I look at their openings, and I'm just like, well, that was okay. But nothing that has, nothing as spectacular as what we had in the 90s. Nothing as spectacular as what we knew. Ah. Okay. And another one down. Thundercats, that's another brilliant opening. I actually didn't get the Thundercats as a kid. Somehow, I guess it was on a station I didn't have or something. But then I got a hold, that's one of the openings I've gotten a hold of. It's man, is that an opening? Yeah, I don't understand that. It's weird. I don't know what's been going on. I'm somewhat removed. I haven't had television in, I don't know, 15 to 20 years. It's been a long-ass time since I've had television. The only reason I'll see a show is because I'll finally specifically track it down, or someone will have it on DVD and show it to me. So, you know, I've seen Gravity Falls, and, you know, I've seen this and that. But, I'm somewhat removed from most of what's been going on. And, so I don't know what most of the media landscape even looks like anymore. Mod? Y50 Gunsmoke Bonanza! Oh, the $6 Million Man and Gilligan's Island. I can still sing Gilligan's Island. Oh, let me see. We want to go for older shows. You know, I don't know why, but the end theme to Have Gun Will Travel, it's not anything special, but it sticks with me for some reason. And it shouldn't, but it does. MacGyver's opening theme was pretty good too. And SG-1, the original opening, they started messing around and being weird later. I mean, they kept the same theme, but their visuals... Crap, what city is this? I need to figure out where this is. Alright, I guess we'll start both sides, throwing down there. Black Prayer. Mod's opening theme. Make a list. Make a list of the... Oh, shit, no. Because it's a... you know what? Here we go. Mod... I'll take a look at it after the stream. I'll just take a note. Somebody suggested something else? Something Stallions? Let's go with the Despair. With only 2 targets, it feels so wasteful, but... Yep, that's definitely the right move. But it's not gonna take. Are you running low on mana? Good. Space Stallions. Oh, okay, that is the mod theme, huh? Hey, don't you mess with this. Okay, is this a death ship? It is. Well, fine. I'm so glad I'm not playing Mono Death. Okay. Skeleton, 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 and Skeletor to lead them. Alright. Alright. This is it. Only got a few things left on this continent, and then you're done. I'll just leave that, guarding that. We'll risk the wraiths. I became a big fan of westerns around high school. I started tracking down all the DVDs of the old series. Okay, not all the old series. There's still a bunch I didn't get around to. I really like The Wild Wild West, and Have Gun Will Travel was my personal favorite. But there was a number of really excellent shows around that time period, and it's weird because you can feel like when you watch them, you can actually see certain things hit. This is a bit weird to describe. Like, you watch the early seasons of the Wild Wild West, and he's a James Bond hero, and he gets the girl at the end of every episode, even when it doesn't make a lick of sense. Just always. And then all of a sudden, I forget in which season, something changes, and that doesn't happen anymore. And then you'll be watching another series, and you'll see some kind of it's just like a wall suddenly hits where the writers suddenly have to change the way they're writing because something changed socially, and it's a little bit weird, and I'd have to spend time trying to articulate this. But I think you can understand what I'm saying, and I find it kind of fascinating. It's not something I ever hear talked about either. I mean, obviously, if I'd heard people talking about it, I'd know exactly the words to use. I'd be able to articulate it. But, alas, I'm no longer getting my stuff dispelled off of me all the time. Isn't that nice? I could almost start draining her power away. But that's a losing strategy. Great way to gain spell power, not a great way to deny them mana, though. He-Man, She-Ra, Brave Star. Oh, Transformers. Yeah, that was one I did watch. I actually largely didn't watch He-Man, She-Ra, or Brave Star. For whatever reason. I had, well, we talked about a lot of the shows. I watched a lot of Warner Brothers cartoons, too. Watched a lot of those as a kid. Let's see. And did you ever catch a series called The Pretender? I'm not exactly sure what became of it. When I stopped having TV, that was still airing. That was one of the shows I missed. The main character was a guy called Jared. He was a super genius that was being studied by some organization called the Center, and he escaped, and he could become... He was a genius, and he could pretend to be... he could learn any profession in, like, a few weeks, maybe a month, and he would go around just changing identities all the time while they were trying to chase him down. So in one episode, he'd be a doctor, in another episode, he'd be a writer, in another episode, he'd be just something else, going around, and... I don't know, he'd have weird adventures and solve strange crimes and things. Vigilante kind of stuff. But he was a big kid. That was his appeal, was that he'd never had a childhood. So now that he's out in the world, he's like discovering all kinds of things that he'd never experienced as a kid. Oh yeah. I didn't really watch much of Bewitched, but I did see a lot of episodes of I Dream of Jeannie growing up. Yeah, I have no idea why they don't make shows like that anymore. But as internet video has been picking up, sooner or later we're going to start seeing small studios that can, you know, now that the monopoly on distribution is breaking, assuming that it doesn't reassert itself, we should start seeing more of that kind of thing again. I'm certainly seeing a lot of creativity in a lot of areas. I'm pretty optimistic about the internet, so long as they don't screw it up. Seem to be a lot of politicians that want to find creative ways to screw the internet up. Hey, Cloud is Shadow. I'm not even trying to milk her for spells. She just keeps coming back on her own. Think maybe you could stop? Just go away? We don't want you. Look, if you've been banished 3 times, you may as well just give up. It's over by that point. Okay. Oh, doggone it. You sent 1 unit in here. What's wrong with you? Just really didn't like that guy, I guess. I felt that... Aww, I was gonna go explore all the nodes. And look for books and retorts. Alright, fine, I accept. Okay, so a couple of things. Yeah, I've seen quite a few times, like The Martian. Okay, it's a pretty decent movie, but the book... Oh, man. The book. I go to the theaters once or twice in a year. Some years I don't go even once. Sometimes I score 0. I didn't even... Man, I've missed quite a few, even big name ones like Star Wars. I don't even show up. The only ones I tend to make exceptions for these days are things like The Avengers, or, I think I actually did watch Ant-Man in theaters. That was a good movie. I don't know what it is, but Marvel knows how to make their movies. But otherwise, I don't know what's gone wrong with Hollywood. You'd think that somebody would know how to make good movies. Japanese, there's a lot of anime that have really solid openings. I have a nice collection of anime openings. I can't show any of them because copyright would blast me. But, like, again, I like to study them. I like to point at weird things. One time I did a stream. I didn't do it on YouTube. I did it on some other service so I could get away with it. And I started pointing at weird little things, like in the Nadesco opening. I can point out impurities in the animation, like where the spaceship is just being slid across the space background, and you can see little specks and things that were somehow left just fuss on the layer with the spaceship. There's actually a lot of it. It looks like somebody did a bad job deleting all the white in a picture in Photoshop. There's Clannad. Clannad's opening is actually really strong. Well, if you've been to my Discord, I actually have a section that's anime openings. That I'm just like, look at this. This is cool. I haven't been posting there much much of late. I should, though. I have a ton more to put in there. Yeah, I know. There's that. But in The Martian, it's not just that they confined it to 2 hours. I mean, I understood that, but they actually made some major changes to it, too. It's weird. I reread the book, like, right after the movie. It was, well, the biggest change is at the end, the captain comes out and saves him personally. What's her name? Johansson or something? She comes out and does the space thing and saves him, and I think he actually does puncture his hand and try to fly around like Iron Man, which in the book he didn't do. Yeah. I know that sounds like small nitpicky things, and it doesn't change the overall experience, but it's, I mean, it's a fairly substantive alteration. But there were other alterations here and there during it where they just changed things. Yeah, good Marvel movies. Ant-Man was a surprise. Actually, Guardians of the Galaxy was kind of a surprise. I thought it would be okay, and it turned out great. I didn't see it in theaters. Actually, I didn't catch I'm talking about Thor now. I didn't catch a single Thor movie in theaters, and every time I did end up seeing it at a friend's house or whatever, I was disappointed. But then, a couple of weeks ago, I saw Thor Ragnarok. Wow. That was awesome. Okay, so is Seravi, you still here? He might not be here. He might have gone to bed, or I don't know what. Let's see, he's in Hungary. What time zone is that? Anyway, he might not be on anymore. Seravi, if you happen to come across this. Okay, so what I was gonna say was, if you were going to offer different packs. Oh, okay, you are here. You've been able to add. I was shocked when you added minerals and climate buttons. This was a real shock to me when these became available. And I know there's not a lot of room on this screen. I mean, I suppose you could always add another screen or something. But, if you were to, do different packs, I guess there's enough room for one more button. If you were to offer different packs, you could put them here. Right now, it's got, you've got the Gensokyo one, but, you'd be able to punch them in here as a button. So you could set it to Classic for normal Master of Magic. You could have the Gensokyo pack, which would be, you know, this one. And presumably you could just make others. It could include items. You could alter the races, potentially, if you wanted to do that. I don't know how much work you want to do at this point. You put such an amazing amount of work into this mod already. It's breathtaking. But, anyway, that's what I was trying to articulate earlier, while I was also trying to actively play a game, which always makes it more difficult. Scott Bakula. Quantum Leap. Ah, I haven't thought about Quantum Leap in probably 15 or 20 years. Quantum Leap was good, though. At least, what I remember of it. I'm afraid the memories are a smidge fuzzy. I just remember liking it a lot. I'd have been in my early teens. X-Files. The Fish That Got Away. There. Now you know the entire series. Every single episode is The Fish That Got Away. Personally, I don't really see the appeal of Mulder and Scully. I know everyone was like, oh, they have so much chemistry. Oh, it's like, to me, I saw the Avengers. I'm talking the old British series, The Avengers, with Emma Peel and John Steed. Those two. It is palpable. That is the ultimate will they or won't they thing. Those two. Compared to that, Mulder and Scully pale. and Kolchak, the Night Stalker, which is kind of the precursor to the X-Files. It's an older show with a tabloid reporter. That one. Some of the episodes are kind of, especially the first season, it's like zombie, aliens. But once you get past the first season, which is okay, you get into the second season and they start getting more creative monsters. Like just all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah, the thing that I find annoying about X-Files, it's a behind-the-scenes thing, but Mulder did not appreciate what he had. Scully was willing to eat live crickets for the role. She understood, and he just was just the actor just wanted to leave. Mulder just didn't like it and wanted to go and leave. And I believe he finally did and killed the series at some point. Oh my gosh. You know of Kolchak. Yes, the Rakshasa was amazing. That was the most ingenious episode. They couldn't make that today. They would not be allowed to make that today. The Jewish community, like, that was amazing. The whole setup. I'll just throw spoilers to anybody who hasn't seen it. I probably talked about this one before because it was genius. So Kolchak is investigating. There's this Jewish community, and somebody is scrawling swastikas, and they're understandably freaked out and afraid and holy shit, what's going on? And people are dying. So, and he comes in and he's investigating, and he finds it's a man from India it's the swastika. It's a holy symbol in India. And he's trying to hunt this Rakshasa, this horrible monster that he's chased halfway across the world, and he's trying so hard to protect these Jews. And he doesn't understand why they're freaked out that he's doing this. And Kolchak, of course, being Kolchak, ends up being the guy who hunts down and fights the monster. But it's just that setup. That setup is such a reversal and so clever. They could not make that today. No executive would ever approve that episode nowadays. Just... it would be too edgy for them. Gene Wilder. He had some great movies. The original, what's it called? Springtime for Hitler. It was a Gene Wilder movie, though. The original one. And I think that some of the things that didn't make sense about the modern one make sense when you see the original. I don't want to say it's necessarily better than the more recent one, but I will say that I preferred it. I preferred it to the remake. The Producers, that's what it was called. Yeah, I preferred the original one, but I can't say it was necessarily better. They were just a little different. They are just a little different. I prefer... It's not that I always... It's not even that I don't want to come across like I always prefer the older of everything. But many times I do. What can I say? I like old stuff. But sometimes we get new stuff that is really kick-ass still. Periodically. From time to time. Avatar: The Last Airbender was really good. Don't know what happened when they turned it into The Legend of Korra, though. That was not the same show. I mentioned Gravity Falls. That one was really funny. I know some people who can't get into it, but I know a lot of other people that, like me, just found it hilarious. They had a lot of clever episodes. Frankenstein Jr. Yes! Yes, yes. That's the one. It's pronounced Frankenstein. Is that the movie? Is that the right one? Yeah. Yeah. I think that they've become too risk averse. Hollywood. They're too afraid of failures, which is ridiculous considering how many failures they make. Despite that, they're trying way too hard for mass market appeal. And mass market appeal is not just, oh, we need to appeal to a large demographic. Oh, no. We have to appeal to every demographic. Instead of making a movie that some people will love, we have to make a movie that everybody will watch. And it's not good enough for it to be everyone in your own country to watch it. No, it has to have appeal in every country in the world. You can't please everyone. You can't. Don't try to make your movie to please everyone. It's not a winning strategy. Unless you're Marvel, somehow. I don't know what's going on with Marvel, but that they can consistently produce hits. Their comic books certainly haven't been hits for the last decade. I've listened to comic book nerds rail quite a bit. But the movies, yeah, they're hitting the ball out of the park every single time. Yeah, I actually have a lot of movies I haven't watched yet. I've been working my way through literature a lot for years now. It's amazing how much literature there is. I'm in the middle of rereading quite my favorite bits of Twain, but I need to get around to movies at some point, because I've seen, I've seen quite a few movies, but I haven't seen The Godfather. I haven't seen quite a lot of the movies that everyone talks about. Citizen Kane, I have not seen it. The original King Kong, I gotta get not only the original King Kong, but I have to get a hold of, like, the making of, because what little I do know sounds fascinating. I want to know how they made their effects. I have an appreciation for old-time ways of making effects. Back when they had to do everything by hand instead of by CG, and they'd come up with all the most creative things. I like old Doctor Who, even when half of the monsters were tinfoil and bubbles. I like that stuff for some reason. Yeah, I have not watched Game of Thrones, and honestly, I don't really have any interest in A Song in Ice and Fire. I'm a big fantasy buff, but I don't know. I like my fantasies to have a lot of magic in them. I like big, awesome, fantastic stuff. I mean, okay, Conan the Barbarian's fun too, even though he's relatively low magic, but man, he has some weird-ass adventures. He runs into Lovecraftian stuff sometimes, like that weird elephant alien thing. What the hell was up with that? Anyway, Conan the Barbarian had some weird-ass adventures, so maybe he doesn't qualify as low fantasy when you consider some of the fantastic things he encounters. Walking Dead, I didn't watch. Well, again, I don't have television, so, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, stuff like that, unless I specifically go out of my way. Yes, and I think it was Clark Ashton Smith. Also, I know that H.P. Lovecraft had never actually put his work in the public domain, but he had allowed other people to use his properties, and he had undermined his copyright in some legalese way, and it became public domain, kinda through no intention of his own. But yeah, I was aware that that the two, and I think it was Clark Ashton Smith, I think. I read some of his as well. I did a bunch of Lovecraft. I did, kind of went through all three of them. Yeah, unless I'm mixing up the author's name. Could be. Anyway. My father had the comic books for Conan the Barbarian, and I think read Sonja. I never actually read them, though. Yeah. My favorite, it's more than the original Conan the Barbarian. I liked Robert Jordan's. They're much more modern Conan the Barbarian novels, but I really liked them. I liked them even more than I liked most of the Wheel of Time. But yeah, those were fun. He actually did an adaptation of, I think it was the second movie, also as one of the novels. Added a good bit to that one. The Nightland. Okay. You should see my reading list sometime. It's enormous, but most of it's I can get free on LibriVox. I personally dislike Audible. You'll notice while everyone on YouTube was screaming Audible from the top of the rooftops because they were paying, I understand they were paying quite well, probably still are, I never did so. Actually, I never promoted any product. I have yet to see I will never promote a product unless I would personally like it and use it. And Audible, I don't like them. I don't like them. They are kind of a pain in the butt. I know I have friends who used Audible and had nightmares just trying to get the books that they bought onto their iPods, or heaven forbid, a music player that was not made by Apple. Because Audible is so... They're big into the DRM, I think it's called. They're big into the you can't copy this file. And I don't like that. It annoys me about Steam as well, but for some reason I'm more willing to accept it with Steam. But even then, when I can, I prefer GOG. I prefer GOG because I can just own the game outright, as opposed to needing to well, for many games it seems like I can't even play them unless I log into Steam when there's no reason I should have to. Night Lady. It's weird. I haven't heard of the Night Lady. Yeah. Going to riff on Nightlands. Millions of years in the future. All that is left of humanity is in the Great Redoubt. Eternal darkness and things outside in the darkness. One day they get a signal from a lost redoubt. They are in trouble and about to die. I think I have heard of this one. Actually. Heard of it, not read it. It's one of the things in the darkness that's signaling. I'm calling it right now. Haven't read it, but I'm calling it. You give me that scenario, and that's all the alarms go off. I have to do a lot of sci-fi. I'm actually thinking about getting into that. I went and dragged around all of the older fantasy I could find. Everything that was... I kind of hate to use the term pre-Tolkien, but all of the pre-Tolkien fantasy I could get a hold of. I say a hold of, there are some exceptions. As well as a lot of, the usual suspects. I'm a big Jules Verne fan. Oh, man. Okay, some of his books are boring and not worth reading. He was prolific. They can't all be winners, but when he wrote, when he was hot, he was hot. I liked Sherlock Holmes, especially Valley of Fear. The original Dracula's quite good. I'm not a big fan of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, though. I honestly don't know why everyone makes such a big deal. Okay, I know there were some new concepts in it, and it did enrich the genre, but I don't see what people think is so great about the novel itself. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. I don't think the monster was very sympathetic. I'm sorry. When it started murdering innocent people, I'm like, yeah, you're not... You just straight up murdered somebody just to piss your master off? Just to hurt him? No. Your quarrel's with him, and you're murdering other people. Oh, I got no sympathy for you. So, maybe I just didn't feel all the pathos and everything else I was supposed to. I don't know. But Dracula was great. And I was surprised when I read it. I was not expecting a cowboy. Okay. Yes! It was in Egypt, and he went down a well, and then he saw, he saw all kinds of things. It was a Lovecraft story. He saw stuff. And then the big thing he sees at the end that he's so afraid of turns out to just be the toe of something way bigger that, of course, Lovecraft cannot describe. He can't describe it. That was always the way with his monsters. It's just indescribable. I can't tell you what it looks like. Cthulhu was a bit disappointing for all that I hear about it, but some of the others, the color out of space. What's it called? Shadows over Innsmouth. I know most people would pick the Dunwich Horror as his best. The Dunwich Horror was good. It stands out because they use the Necronomicon, and it doesn't go horribly wrong or anything. They fight the monsters and succeed. But Shadows over Innsmouth to me was his best. It was good. I also like the fact that the main character doesn't just so many of his characters, they just see something or encounter something and then they're just broken. That guy, he runs around and has a whole adventure there, chased around by fish people and stuff. Hey there, Cthulhu. No? There was a webcomic called Hello Cthulhu that was Hello Kitty, with Cthulhu as one of the cast. It was kind of fun. It was kind of cute. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't appreciate it. Maybe most people wouldn't appreciate it. Maybe I have terrible taste, but I liked it. It was a long time back now. There's a video game, Cthulhu Saves the Day, that looked kind of fun, too. I've heard about that one. Yes, 90s Gamer did a review of that one. It looked really good. Yeah, that's it right on the nose. That's part of the problem with Lovecraft's writing after a while, so that I appreciate a character who's more robust. And I know where he gets it from, too. If you've been reading old novels, you'll run into protagonists in literature written in the 1800s where, I don't know, some guy tried to kill them, and they have to spend like 6 months or a year like recovering from the trauma. That's not the language they use, but that's basically it. Like, so many of the characters in that era just seemed like they were really fragile. So Lovecraft, reading stuff like that, he goes and he makes his horrors and stuff, and it's like, well, if that's where you're coming from, I mean, if a guy trying to kill you will leave you suffering PTSD or whatever for years, then yeah, seeing Cthulhu would probably do multiple times that. But, yeah, I prefer my protagonists to be a little more, together. They can still go insane and have terrible things happen to them, but I expect them to be a little more robust. Did you ever read the one where there was a house where people kept dying in, and they dig it up, and they dig down into the ground, and they find, I think he described it as like an elbow, and then they decide they need to kill it. They shoot it with some kind of weird ray gun, and then I think they pour acid on it. I was just sitting there going, that's not good enough. That's not good enough, man. You poured a little acid on it and ran away. Nope. That's not good enough. Okay, where's your napalm? Where's your magma? Every priest in the neighborhood, get them to bless water. I don't care what religion they are. Just pour it all down there. You don't mess around with whatever the hell that thing is. They'll get it wrong. They'll get it wrong if they try to make a movie. Most of the media that tries to do Lovecraft doesn't capture it at all. It's more like Cthulhu flavoring. I'll make a note of that too. Hey there, Cthulhu. I'm gonna have to go to bed, so I have to check them out in the morning or the evening tomorrow or some such. Of course they do. Doesn't everyone drive with a rocket launcher in their car? If I'm playing D&D, I'll make that argument. You need someone who eats these things for breakfast, who's willing to help, no questions asked. Oh no, the 1970s Justice League. Yeah, and I need to go to bed. Superman. How to do it? Probably. Depends. Actually, Superman has a really hard time dealing with wizards. He has a really hard time fighting supernatural, magical things sometimes. Anyway, till next time and every time, this is Hadriex signing off. Good night.